visit is Balarama in anticipation of Balaram's appearance. I decided to just focus on with Balarama. We heard so far several classes, starting with the kind of introduction to Balaram Tattva and a little overview of his role as Krishna's first expansion. And then the two principal demons that he was responsible for killing in Krishna's Braja Lila, Dhenukasura and Kalambasura. And then chronologically going along, they left, Krishna and Balaram left Vrindavan, as was planned, I believe it was the son. Yes, okay. As was the plan of the Leela, according to our acharyas, Krishna was 10 years, 8 months old. And they stayed together for some time in Mathura. And because Mathura is the capital of the whole tract of land, the district, Mathura district, Mathura was the capital. And by transcendental arrangement, by pastime arrangement, Krishna left Mathura and went to the third place, Dwarka. So while in Dwarka, Balaram took permission from Krishna. Krishna was very happy to hear that Balaram was going to pay a visit to Vrindavan. And Krishna gave messages to different devotees in Vrindavan for Balaram to deliver. And the ostensible reason why Krishna didn't personally return, because he had promised to return, and he eventually returned. Bhagavad Samhita describes, other scriptures describe Krishna returned just after killing Dantavakra, because Krishna's reason was, if I go back to Vrindavan, then those who are my enemies, who would like to harm me, will understand of my affection for the Brijvasis, and so they'll go and harass the Brijvasis. So Krishna didn't go until he killed Dantavakra. The description is, there's a place on the western side of Mathura, where there's to this day a gate that bears the name of Dantavakra, where Krishna killed Dantavakra, and then he entered Mathura, and then he went to Vrindavan and spent some time in Vrindavan with the Brijvasis. So Balaram was eager to, he was also missing Vrindavan. He was attached to Vrindavan in a way that Krishna was also attached to Vrindavan. And so he was very enthusiastic to return. And with Krishna's permission, now there's this whole other topic about he's the elder brother. And in Vedic culture, the elder brother doesn't take permission from the younger brother, the other way around. But as the elder brother, he also had the highest of affection and understood that he didn't want to go against what Krishna was against. There's a really, really nice pastime. I'm sure you're familiar with Arjuna marries Subhadra. Although it was Balaram's plan as the elder brother that their younger sister, Subhadra, should marry Duryodhana. There's no way Subhadra wanted to marry Duryodhana. And there's many events happened. And one of those events that happened was on a very special day during the rainy season, there was a festival where Subhadra normally never goes out of the palace, but for this particular festival, it's a festival in which the goddess Lakshmi from a temple is taken in a chariot, kind of like a Rath Yatra festival, in procession from the temple to a place where there is a Lakshmi festival. And Subhadra was going to leave her home. And at that time, when she's in this conveyance, taking her to where the festival was to take place, a carriage of some kind, driving Krishna's chariot, Arjuna came and kidnapped her and swept her away and right under everybody's nose on the day of a big festival. And as soon as they found out, they were in a big clamor, and Balaram held a meeting in the assembly hall and raising his voice, very excited, his eyes bloodshot. And this is a disgrace, this is dishonor. We should go at once and finish this fellow. But then, anyway, it wasn't known until he did what he did that he was residing in Dwarka for the whole 4 months of the rainy season. This was toward the end. So they were ready to go charge. Rabble rousing, elder brother making the speech. Krishna sat silently, and everyone's get my armor and get my horses ready and get the chariots ready and war. Balaram noticed that Krishna was just sitting there smiling. So he calmed everybody down and said, we can't rush into this without consulting Krishna. And he's remaining silent. So when asked, Krishna spoke. He spoke calming words, many, many nice calming words. And the rabble-rousing, let's go to war mood shifted. Some persons had their objection, yavat, and Krishna answered all the yavats to everyone's satisfaction. And what he said is actually, this is nice. This is not our topic for this class, but it's nice. He said things like, how would it be like for us to give gifts in charity to Arjuna like she's a commodity? And that would be very nice. Because it's traditional. When a young girl, family member is married, gifts are given to the young groom. And they'll keep other reasons and other reasons. So he did something that was very respectable. He wouldn't demean him, it wouldn't demean us. It's in scriptures for a noble person like Arjuna to take the young girl away in this way. It's very noble. It's the way of a great hero. So Arjuna did as a great hero. And you want to go chasing after him, forget it. He's got my chariot. You'll never catch him. My chariot is too swift. And not only that, he's the greatest fighter, hero in the world. We lose many men, so it's not a good idea. Don't go chasing after Arjuna. Rather, you should try to find him, invite him to come back, and hold a proper marriage right here in Dwarka. Everyone looked at each other, and Balaram agreed. So that's what happened. They found Arjuna came back, and right in Dwarka, right after there was this kidnapping, because Although Balaram is the elder brother, the main point is this. Although he's the elder brother, he deferred to his younger brother. So the culture, the elder brother, younger brother culture was naturally observed. He wasn't elder by so much time, there's some days, but because there was some days, he was the elder brother. So what we discussed this in the first introductory class. Balaram remained in the womb of Rohini some extra number of months, just waiting for Krishna to make his appearance, because he wanted to be with Krishna, not just do his lila. He wanted to be with Krishna. So he appeared as the elder brother. And Krishna treated him like the elder brother. The culture etiquette was there. But the transcendental position is Balaram is Krishna's expansion, and he deferred to Krishna. So, the nice interplay of the elder brother, younger brother role. So when Balaram had this idea to go to Vrindavan, Krishna, of course, Krishna explained to Balaram why he didn't personally go. We'll hear some other explanations as we're going along. But he wanted Balaram to go and gave messages to Balaram to deliver by name to different individuals, because as the devotees are attached to Krishna, Krishna is attached to the devotees. So what to speak of the Vrindavasis? By name, the different relationships, offering them kind words appropriate for their station, their superior, the elders, his friends, and even amongst the friends, different gradations of friends, and the gopis. We'll hear what Krishna's instructions are for him. But so he goes back to Vrindavan. And one of the things that we're going to hear shortly is Balaram plow. There's different ways in which Balaram engages his plow. Many of them are battle, and some of them are to powerfully, in this case, drag the river Yamuna to come to where he was. And she didn't respond. So he's going to drag the river Yamuna to where he was with his plow. And she panicked and she came from river Yamuna personified. So we'll hear about that also. This evening there's also Krishna's Balaram using his plow in dealing with the Vidvida gorilla. That's this evening. So this is chapter 65. The Braja Leela is over. Krishna left, went to Mathura. Now he's in Dwarka. And the chapter 65 opens this way. This is Shukadev describing to Maharaj Parikshit. He's the best of the Kurus. Once Lord Balaram, eager to visit his well-wishing friends, mounted his chariot and traveled to Nanda Gokula. So here's a little chapter summary. During this visit, Balaram visited his friends. He plays with his gopis, this different set of gopis than Krishna's set of gopis, and dragged the river Yamuna. Why did Krishna, the great ocean of prema, not go to Braja? Different reasons. The Yadus thought the gopis are famous for their pure love, ecstatic love, and Krishna's parents have intense love for him. Krishna is controlled by pure love, so if he goes to see the Vrindavasis, how will he be able to leave them and come back to us? So even the painting on the left is, although Krishna's in Mathura and Dwarka, his thoughts are with the residents of Vrindavan. The gopis, of course, but all the associates of Krishna. With this in mind, the Yadus prevented Krishna from going, knowing that he becomes subservient to the pastimes in which he reciprocates the ever-increasing love of the Vrishvasis. Nice painting on the left. He's on top of a palace in Dwarka, and he's simply thinking of Nanda, Yashoda, cowherd boyfriends, the gopis, and gopas. So Vishwanath says the Vrishvasis, the citizens of Dwarka prevented him. Yadu dynasty elders discouraged him and figured out a way to keep him in Dwarka. Then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reasons, but then neither should Baladev be able to leave. His brother Krishna was dearer to him than his own life. And he settles this argument by saying that Balaram had such eagerness, utkanta, that his discrimination and sense control disappeared. So off he went. Prevented by Vasudeva and Devaki to go to Braja, Krishna shared his heart's feelings with Balaram, remembering their joyful Harika, holy pastimes with the gopis, and encouraged Balaram to similarly satisfy younger gopis while there. He gave his consent to Balaram to go alone, enter wearing cowherd attire, carrying a message for various devotees by name, along with a promise that he would personally come after some time. So he's sending a representative, although he can't go himself, for his reasons. His reasons were the demons, and their reasons were that they prevented him from coming. They didn't give their permission. Vasudeva and Devaki didn't give their permission. We don't know what they said, but they give their permission. So having long suffered the anxiety of separation, the cowherd men and their wives embraced Lord Balaram. So the first group of devotees that he visited were the elders. Same thing when Uddhava was sent with a message for the gopis. The first place he went, house of Nanda and Yashoda. Actually, so those of you that are seated way back there, there's room up front. You can see the screen better up front, but if you want to sit in the back, it's okay. But if everyone is up front or come a little bit further up front, then those in the back can come a little bit closer. I'm not going to say it again. Just do the best we can. So Balaram, in visiting Vrindavana, first visited the elders. It's etiquette and very natural. So they were very happy to see him. They embraced him. And as is the etiquette, he offered respects to his parents. And who's in the category of his parents? Rohini, Balaram's mother, Rohini. And Rohini, of course, the wife of Rohini was Vasudeva, but Rohini was sent to the care of Nanda when Kamsa was doing his nefarious activities, so he wanted to protect Rohini. So he sent Rohini to be in the care of his dear, dear friend. So this means that Nanda treated Balaram like his son. Yashoda treated Balaram like her son. We'll hear there's some nice descriptions. Yashoda says to Balaram, even your mother doesn't have affection for you like I have. She becomes so busy with her household duties. But I don't do that. She's not like paying favorites. She's just revealing how much love, how much she treats and has affection for Balaram, just like she has affection for Krishna. So Nanda and Jasoda prayed, "O descendant of Dasharha, O Lord of the universe." Now this indicates they understand his divinity, Lord of the universe. "May you and your younger brother Krishna ever protect us." There's an asterisk. I'll read what the asterisk says. This shows Nanda's deep affection for Vasudeva. Knowing that Balaram was Vasudev's son, Nanda considered Balaram to be his own with intense affection as a father. By this time, because he found out later when Krishna and Balaram left, when Krishna and Balaram were little, he didn't have that understanding. Later on, he got that understanding. So this is later on, and he understands Balaram was actually Vasudeva's son. And because Rohini was sent to be under his care, and it was Balaram was Vasudeva's son. But he had such affection for him, and as did Mother Yasoda. Saying this, they raised Sri Balaram onto their laps, embraced him, and moistened him with tears from their eyes. So, parental affection. Nanda, hearing that Krishna hadn't come because there's demons still to be killed, so I'm coming in his place. What demons are remaining to be killed? So Balaram gave a list. Shishupal, the king of Kashi, Tondraka, Shalva, Jarasandha, Vidvida, Dantavakra, and Vidurata. So he has a little list. Krishna will come after that. He did. Balaram then paid proper respects to the elder cowherd men, to the younger ones, and all greeted him respectfully. He met them all with smiles, handshakes, and so on, dealing personally with each one according to their age, degree of friendship, and family relationship. Then, after resting, he doesn't need to rest for his pastime. The Lord accepted a comfortable seat, and they all gathered around him. With voices faltering out of love for him, those cowherds who had dedicated everything to lotus-eyed Krishna asked about the health of their dear ones in Dwarka. And Balaram, in turn, asked about the cowherds' welfare. So it's, in one sense, these are just social feelings. And on the other hand, in deeper sense, there's transcendental affection, and it's one of the ways of exhibiting the transcendental affection you inquire about the welfare. We do that. We do that as a reflection of transcendental dealings of Krishna and Balaram. Oh Rama, are our relatives doing well? And Rama, do all of you with your wives and children still remember us? They're remembering his pastime of killing Kamsa, and Chandra and Nushika, Krishna's killing Kamsa. It is our great fortune that simple Kamsa has been killed and our dear relatives have been freed. Dear relatives means Vasudeva and Devaki. And it is also our good fortune that our relatives have killed and defeated their enemies and found complete security in a great fortress. The great fortress is Dwarka. The Krishna's Leela is very nice. I'll just touch on the building of the great fortress. So many times, what was the number of times? 11 times or 14 times, some number of times, Jarasandha brought a huge army and came to defeat Krishna because he was ready to kill Krishna. And every time the entire army was destroyed, and Jarasandha was sent humiliated back alive. He gathered another army, and Krishna was happy because his appearance was to annihilate Dvaniya kings. That was the request of the demigods. And so it was a very good arrangement. He brought the demons, he could kill them. Then, as it happened, there was an arrangement where simultaneously from the north came Kalyavana, and from the east came Jarasandha with another big, so many Akshagini divisions of soldiers. Krishna and Balarama were battling, and Krishna made a suggestion. Balaram, you hold them off. I don't want any members of the Yadu dynasty to be harmed because of these two armies coming at once. So I'll settle them some distant place. You hold them off, and I'll come back and we'll finish them. So that's what happened. Dwarka was built in a jiffy by Vishwakarma in a unusual an island some distance away and very difficult to get to, so they would be safe. Then they were settled. Krishna carried them all and situated them all in their residential quarters, and then came back to the battlefield. Etc. So they're safely situated in a great fortress with complete security. After paying due respects to the elders, Balaram visited each and every home of his cowherd childhood friends. However, his heart being full of separation from Krishna, as were the hearts of the cowherd boys, he could only gaze at the cows, both morning and night. He could not bear the absence of Krishna, thus no herding of cows could take place. Now by this time, he's older, and they're older. They're not just cowherd boys anymore, but they're still with the same occupation of taking care of cows. But that cow herding love that was there in his childhood was blocked by his feelings of separation from Krishna. So this is from the perspective of the Bhagavatam and Krishna's Leela. There's emphasis again and again and again and again on the importance of loving exchange, like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami's analysis of different moods of love and how the moods of love flow like waves in a river. There's essential Sai Baba, there's essential mood of loving attraction between each devotee and Krishna. And then the mood rises and falls and changes shape and so on, like the water moving in a river. It flows towards the stream, towards the sea. So that's what's going on here. Balaram is stimulating their love. His love is also becoming very strong, and the current is very strong. And even this loving attraction for being with the cows and herding the cows was superseded by the loving attraction for Krishna. Just couldn't herd cows without Krishna being there. Next comes the other assignment or recommendation that Krishna made. It was the younger gopis. Honoring Lord Balaram because they had attained his personal audience, the young gopis smiled and asked him, is Krishna the darling of the city women living happily? It's a little, you might say, transcendently jealous or something like that. Vishwanath Chakravarti comments, The smiling of the gopis was a sign of their unmada, or transcendental madness. Unmada. Otherwise, how would it be possible for such an extremely shy girls suffering such intense pain of separation from Krishna smile? They were feeling madness. And how to deal with the madness they were feeling, if there's a certain type of smile. Understanding that this was a sign of their Mahabhava, Balaram gave them great respect. Balaram honored them with his affectionate glance because he understood that these gopis were dearly beloved devotees of Krishna and were filled with pure love for his younger brother. Now, Balaram is not a competitor of Krishna. He knows the gopis have their special love for Krishna, and he honors it. He doesn't feel, wait a minute, what about me? There's no enviousness and jealousy. Jiva Goswami comments about their laughter and their smiles. Krishna vowed that he would return to Braja. When only Balaram returned and was respectful in grief, they experienced the greatest pain, but expressed it as loud laughter. You know, somebody's really uncomfortable. What do they do with that emotion? They laugh. That kind of laughter. Unmada, he explains, madness in love, grieving or mocking, a nervous laughing. So these are from Rupa Goswami's writings. Both Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur do well the writings of Rupa Goswami. And in the writings of Rupa Goswami, he's defining these terms and then giving examples of those terms. So what the scene here is directly from Rupa Goswami's writings. And they're just amplifying it. Gopis continued. Does he remember his family members? No, being respectful, they speak of his father and mother, in part because they're cultured ladies, but they also particularly concerned about themselves. Do you think he will ever come back even once to see his mother? Of course, to see them too. And does mighty armed Krishna remember the service we always did for him? So commentary says, the gopis asked, is Krishna happy there in Dwarka? Balaram's replied, how could Krishna be happy being separated from you? The gopis replied, Krishna is enjoying with many beautiful women in the city. So how could he be suffering any unhappiness of separation from us village girls? Certainly he must be happy. In one sense, it sounds like the jealous girls talk. In another sense, it's their transcendental love. It's not the kind of jealousy that exists in the worldly plane. It's not that same feeling that they're in the state of madness. Their attachment is to Krishna. He's not there. They really want to know, is Krishna happy? They're comparing themselves. There's humility. They're village girls. These are city girls, and we're really simple. And they're really fancy, and Krishna must be happy. So please tell us Krishna's happy. For Krishna's sake, O descendant of Dasarha, we abandoned our mothers, fathers, brothers, husbands, children, and sisters, even though these family relations are difficult to give up. This is a verse that's often quoted in Rupa Goswami's writings, because it's true. But now, O Lord, that same Krishna has suddenly abandoned us, and gone away, breaking off all affectionate ties with us. And yet, how could any woman fail to trust his promises? They're caught in a bind. He abandoned us, but how could we not trust his word? He will come back, won't he? So the painting is their feelings of separation when Krishna departed. No, the painting is during one of the Rasa Leela pastimes, Krishna detected they were feeling their very special good fortune. And so Krishna disappeared because he didn't want pride to enter. Krishna. He didn't want pride to enter their heart. So the painting is Krishna disappeared because he didn't want pride to enter their heart. And yet he promised he would come back, and so they have full trust and he'll come back. So now that painting on the lower right, that means that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he's making his commentary. Balaram said, but, most beloved gopis of Krishna, so there's two sets of gopis that are being spoken of. One set of gopis is the gopis that Krishna particularly had rasa dance with and directly associated with. Later, there's going to be another set of gopis that are younger set of gopis. So these are Krishna's gopis. Most beloved gopis of Krishna, Krishna is full of love for you and always remembers you. Denying this, the gopis replied, no, we do not have faith in Krishna's love, since he rejected us, who were solely devoted to him. They expressed this in a verse and a half. The gopis continued, though we gave up everything for Krishna, he gave us up immediately and left. Balaram, why didn't you do something to prevent him from going away? Or why didn't you go with him? The gopis replied, Krishna just tore our bonds of love to shreds like a blade of grass and left. Therefore, tell us what we should have done. Commentary. Commentary works sometimes like this dialogue back and forth, as if they had said these things. They didn't say these things, at least not in the Bhagavatam text, but they may have said these things, kind of commentary. Balaram replies, since you are maintaining your lives without him, you also must have broken your ties of love for him. The gopis replied, not at all. By his words, I will return to you. Repeatedly sent through messengers, Krishna retied the fetters of love, even after they were broken. Again, he took hold of our life heirs as they were about to leave us and reestablished them. Balaram, if you believe Krishna will return, then why are you so disturbed? Gopis, no, this is not correct. Since even now Krishna has still not come, we have concluded that whatever he said was false. Balaram, why did you believe what he said in the first place? How could an unintelligent, straightforward women like us not believe his words? How can intelligent city women possibly trust the words of one whose heart is so unsteady and so ungrateful? You know, they're mad. In the madness of love, they're saying crazy things. They must believe him because he speaks so wonderfully, and also because his beautiful smiling glances arouse their lust. Why bother talking about him, dear Gopi? please talk of something else. If he passes his time without us, then we shall simply pass ours without him. But it's not possible because the bond of love. While speaking these words, the young cowherd women remembered Lord Shaori's laughter, his pleasing conversations with them, his attractive glances, his style of walking, and his loving embraces. Thus they began to cry. Beautiful painting, yes? The Supreme Lord Balaram, the attractor of all, being expert at various kinds of conciliation, consoled the gopis by relaying to them the confidential messages Lord Krishna had sent with him. These messages deeply touched the gopis' hearts. Now we're going to hear something. Again, one of the roles that Balaram plays very well, he likes the role of being the conciliator. It's a function he likes, and he's good at it. So in this case, he's doing, there's their exchange of strong emotion, madness of love, and he's going to pacify their hearts. Lord Balaram consoled the gopis by giving them Lord Krishna's most charming messages, which express sweet conciliation, which were inspired by his pure love for them, and which were without a tinge of pride. Note that this is from Vishnu Purana, meaning this episode is spoken of in a number of scriptures. Of course, the main storyline that we're following is Srimad Bhagavatam, but there's others, Harivangsha, Vishnu Purana, Padma Purana, Gopal Champu. It's a very important exchange of loving feelings is the essence of Krishna's pastimes. The pastimes are important, but the important feature of the important pastimes is the loving exchanges. So you get a lot of attention. Naturally so, rightly so. He consoled them with Krishna's messages because they entered into those messages, which melted their hearts. So a little break from the scene in Vrindavan, one of the situations where Balaram enjoyed the message of the role of a mediator or conciliator is when he went to, there was big hubbub about Samba, the son of Jambavati, being put in prison in Hastinapur. And so the Yadu dynasty, hearing that Samba was in their prison, Ugrasena got all his armies ready and going to battle. They're all riled up for battle. Balaram says, wait a minute, let me go and see if I can make a peace with them. So he goes to make a peaceful settlement. And how do they respond? They insult him. And Balaram doesn't like it. So he decides, you know what? I'm going to drag the whole city of Hastinapur into the Ganges. And with his plow, that's the scene, the painting. With his plow, he's dragging the entire city with his plow, powerful plow, into the river, towards the river Ganges. And then they have an messed with the wrong person. So then they come and try to appease Balaram. The scene, Samba, the son of Jambavati, kidnapped Lakshmana from her Swayamvar ceremony. That's a whole other session we'll hear later. One of the commentators on the Bhagavatam is Sridhar Swami. Many of you know who that is. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regarded Sridhar Swami as the foremost of the early commentators on Srimad Bhagavatam. So he writes, Sridhar Swami writes, Balaram first consoled them with scriptural teachings. He then praised them to remove their despondency. This is the Gopis. Then he, Balaram, described Krishna's mercy directed to them. So he's a conciliator. He then described with regret various events which delayed Krishna from returning. He then promised to bring Krishna back with a believable oath. Then he frightened them by saying that Krishna, who held them dearer than 1,000,000 of his lives, would suffer intense grief on hearing of their crying. So please stop crying. Knowing Krishna's heart, I've come to Braja. Knowing his heart deeply, I speak to you with consoling words. If I knew he was indifferent, I would not be able to speak with you, nor would I be satisfied with him. So it's his redoubling and redoubling, and Krishna will come back. I couldn't come here and tell you he would come back if I knew he wasn't going to come back. So he'll come back. And if he didn't come, I wouldn't be satisfied with him, and Krishna wouldn't like that. So he'll come back. He'll come back. So here's a nice painting. It should be understood that Krishna dispatched both Baladev and Uddhava with his intimate messages because they were both his trusted friends, Sakyabhav, without consideration of their other sentiments of servitude. Uddhava, and parental affection, Vatsalyabhav. So here's a little commentary saying, in addition to the friendship that Krishna had with Uddhava, because Uddhava was about the same age as Krishna. They were cousins, first cousins. One of Vasudev's brothers was Uddhava's father, Devapaga. So they were cousins, brothers of about the same age. That even their bodily features were alike, etc., etc., etc. So they're two peas in a pod. They were very close. But Krishna sent such a very close person, this is commentary, because of the mode of servitude that Uddhava had toward Krishna. Here, this commentator is saying, because of being the elder brother, Balaram, in addition to being like a friend, but he was like a father. It's the elder brother role. That's the place we start at the beginning. The use of the plural form indicates that Krishna sent many messages, not one. Some messages instructed the gopis in transcendental knowledge, and some were sweet and apologetic, and some were dignified, heartfelt. Krishna's messages could be revealed publicly, could not be revealed publicly because of their confidential nature. But Balaram knew, because he's confidential. And they knew because the messages were to them. Balaram boldly claimed, "Dear Gopis," these are Krishna's Gopis, "now that I have consoled you, I will go to Dwarka and bring Krishna here by force. I am not exclusively under Krishna's control like Uddhava." In this way, Balaram displayed his expertise in conciliation. That's Vishwanath's commentary. He's not just being nice. He is the servant of Krishna. And Krishna wouldn't want to see the gopis crying like this, so he wants to pacify their hearts. and this way, that way, sideways, forwards, backwards, front door, back door, down the chimney, everywhere. He wants them to feel reassured Krishna will come. Hearing this, the gopis experienced that they had attained Krishna. That's Jiva Goswami. His effectiveness was so powerful. They felt Krishna's presence just by Balaram's presence. We accept your words that you will bring Krishna. All these exchanges with Krishna's gopis were with Krishna's gopis with whom he had performed rasa dance. Now the scene changes, and Balaram is going to enter into pastime with the younger gopis, just as Krishna suggested, with another set of gopis besides Krishna's gopis. Balaram resided in Vrindavan for 2 months, month of Madhu and month of Madhava, and every night he gave conjugal pleasure to his set of gopi friends. Now notice there's a full moon. Looks like daytime and there's a full moon. It's said in Vrindavan, every night is a full moon. You figure it out, that's what it says. These were not the same gopis with whom Krishna had conducted his rasa dance. In the company of numerous women, Lord Balaram enjoyed in a garden by the Yamuna river. This garden was bathed in the rays of the full moon and caressed by breezes bearing the fragrance of night blooming lotuses. Meaning, lotuses are open in the morning when the sun rises, and as the sun sets, the lotuses close. So these are a very special set of lotuses. Because of the full moon or whatever the reason, they remained open at night, and they're very fragrant lotuses. By Balaram's will, the nights always had a full moon. Sent by the demigod Varuna, the divine Varuni liquor flowed from a tree hollow and made the entire forest even more fragrant with its sweet aroma. So Balaram is celebrated for liking Varuni beverage, and he indulged himself liberally in Varuni beverage. The wind carried to Balaram the fragrance of that flood of sweet liquor, and when he smelled it, he went to the tree. There he and his female companions drank. They became intoxicated by this Varuni beverage. This is a deity. It's southeast corner of Vrindavan. Balaram is standing in his deity form with his left hand holding a Varuni nectar. And by his side, Srimati Varuni and Srimati Revati in the deity form. As the Gandharvas sang his glories, Lord Balaram enjoyed within the brilliant circle of young women. He appeared just like Indra's elephant, the lordly Airavata, enjoying in the company of she elephants. There's the Gandharvas singing away. At that time, kettle drums resounded in the sky. The Gandharvas joyfully rained down flowers, and the great sages praised Lord Balaram's heroic deeds. So not his heroic deeds of dancing, but his other deeds, they were just glorifying him, glorifying him. As his deeds were sung, Lord Kala Yuddha, Yuddha means fighting. Allah Yuddha wandered as if inebriated among the various forests with his girlfriends, his eyes roll from the effects of the liquor. No, this is not usual. This is heavenly, and it's pastime. So we don't think Balaram got drunk. The Lord then summoned the Yamuna River so that he could play in her waters, but she disregarded his command, thinking he was drunk. This angered Balaram, and he began dragging the river with the tip of his plow, somewhere between too much and too little. You can control remotely, or he has to do it manually. Huh?
I can control.
Back to normal. Everybody's wide awake now. So notice the painting. Balaram has his plow. Yamuna personified is folding her palms, seeing Balaram dragging the Yamuna River. Balaram said, "Oh, sinful one disrespecting me, you do not come when I call you, but rather move only by your own whim. Therefore, with the tip of my plow, I shall bring you here in 100 streams." In many paintings indicating this pastime. Notice in one hand he's holding the plowshare, like the piece that goes on the back of the bullock for tilling the ground. He has three main instruments, besides sometimes he has a lotus flower. The plow, the club, and I don't know what you call that other instrument, the instrument for plowshare, I think. Anyway. Thus told by the Lord, O king, this is Shukadev speaking, the frightened river goddess Yamuna came and fell at the feet of Sri Balaram, the beloved descendant of Yadu. Trembling, she spoke to him the following words. Beautiful painting here. Jiva Goswami comments before we hear her words. The goddess who appeared before Lord Balaram is an expansion or a shadow of Srimati Kamandi, one of Lord Krishna's queens in Dwarka. She is his vibhuti. Her husband is the ocean. Now, how are we going to understand all of that? Jiva Goswami is giving us this insight. So, one of Krishna's queens in Dwarka is Kamandi. Now, Kamandi is the name of the river Yamuna. But this is not the river Yamuna, it's Kamandi, his queen. Shakti Tattva. And Shakti Tattva has an expansion. And the expansion is this personality that appeared before Krishna, the vibhuti of Kamandi, and her husband is the ocean. Anyway, Yamuna, this is a painting. There's with her hands folded, Balaram with his plow raised, the gopis wondering what's he going to do. She fell at the feet of Balaram, and here's her prayer. Rama, Rama, O mighty armed one, I know nothing of your prowess. With a single portion of yourself, Ekamshena, you hold up the earth. So this Ekamshena, expansion, this a portion, angsa, is a portion of Balaram. The portion of Balaram, the angsa of Balaram, is Anantashesh, who resides at the bottom of the universe. And he's holding up the planets of the universe. You hold up the earth and all the other planets. That's Shesha, Balaram's expansion. So there he is again with the plow in one hand and the plowshare in the other hand. And there she is coming before him with her prayers. Oh, soul of the universe, I didn't understand your position as the Supreme Godhead, Maha Darshan. But now I have surrendered unto you, and you are always kind to your devotees, your Bhakta Vatsala, and then your Bhakta. So please be kind. My Lord, please release me, because with his plow he's pulling her, and she has to go where he is pulling her. So with this prayer, Balaram stops his pulling of River Yamuna into little rivulets, and he accepts her submission. Thereupon Lord Balaram released the Yamuna and, like the king of elephants, with his entourage of she-elephants, entered the river's water with his female companions, because they've been dancing and it's hot and humid. They want to bathe. The Lord played in his water to his full satisfaction. When he came out, goddess Kanti, who is actually the goddess of fortune, the wife of Sankarshan of the second Vyuha, we'll go over that, presented him with blue garments, precious ornaments, and a brilliant necklace. So let's start with who the goddess of fortune and the wife of Sankarshan of the second Vyuha. What's the first Vyuha? What are Vyuhas? Again and again, Prabhupada would explain, so just repeat what he explained. Krishna's first expansion is Balarama in the spiritual world. Balarama expands into the first Chaturvyuha. Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. Balarama expands into those four. Then the Sankarshan of Vaikuntha, Sankarshan of Goloka expands into Narayana, and that Narayana then expands into the second Chaturvyuha. So this is mentioning the second Vyuha, second of the four. So Sankarshan of the second, that is of Vaikuntha realm. And goddess of fortune is the consort of the personality of Godhead in the spiritual world. So Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is the goddess of Narayana, but Narayana expands into the second Chaturvyuha. So her name has a different name, although it's the same person, is Kanti. So when Balaram came out of the river Yamuna, Kanti made a presentation of gifts. No, the wife or the consort of the second Chaturvyuha, Sankarshan, they're expensive to Balaram. There's detail, but the essence is loving affection. The detail of the Leela is what the detail of the Leela is, but the essence is loving exchange. So she gives him these three gifts. Blue garments, he's going into the water, he's put fresh clothes on, precious ornaments to go along with his nice garments, and a brilliant necklace. According to Hari Vamsa, celebrated text, O Lord, please accept as divine ornaments for your ears this single gold earring studded with diamonds and this primeval lotus called Padma. Kindly accept them, for this act of adornment is traditional. Ramosta. Lord Balaram dressed himself in the blue garments and put on the gold necklace. Now he has a club in his other hand, changed instruments. Anointed with fragrances and beautifully adorned, he appeared as resplendent as Indra's royal elephant. Now, he's meditating on Krishna all the time. Thus, for Lord Balaram, all the nights pass like a single night as he enjoyed in Braja, his mind enchanted by the exquisite charm and beauty of Braja's young ladies. And soon he's going to return to Dwarka. He returns to Dwarka, according to Harivansa, and is received very warmly by the citizens of Dwarka. Balaram, still wearing a traveler's dress, beautiful with a new garland on his chest, embraced Krishna. Seeing Balaram coming quickly, Krishna rose and offered him an excellent seat. Seeing him, Krishna asked him about the welfare of all his friends and the cows. Balaram answered his brother, who spoke sweetly. Oh, Krishna, all those for whose good health you desire are fine. Then the two spoke on various subjects of former times in front of Vasudeva. So Vasudeva is getting to hear about their childhood pastimes for both Krishna and Balaram while they're together in Dwarka. This is the end. Because they were in the assembly, general questions and answers were given. In private, Krishna asked about his gopis. So that's the end of the chapter 65, where is a prelude to Krishna's returning to Vrindavana and many other things that happened in between. Krishna's work will be then. Balaram has a very prominent role to play in Krishna's work, but certainly a very prominent role to play in this case. He visits Vrindavana and Dwarka with Krishna's permission. For blessings and carrying messages. Any discussion? Yes.
Thank you for this wonderful presentation, Maharaj. It was so nice. Especially with that pastime between Yamuna Devi and Balaram, where she disrespects Balaram by not coming, and later on she is praying, and it was mentioned that she was the wife of Moshe. My thoughts went to Saundaraja disrespecting Lord Rama and Lord Rama getting angry in that pastime as well.
Yeah. There's no mention of her in that pastime of Lord Ramchandra. I mean, our acharyas have a profound capacity to connect this, that, and the other thing. In the evening session, we're going to speak about Vidvita Gorilla, and he has his role in Ram's Leela. We'll hear all Maida and Vidvita. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. The demigods that the reign of demigods, my understanding is, the reign of the demigods is for the duration of one Manu. Or each time a new Manu comes in, he appoints new cabinet members. And then there is representatives for the reign of Manu. They live a long time, as does Manu live a long time. So they're not ordinary, they're jivas, but they're not ordinary living entities.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for the beautiful class, Maharaj. It was so heart-touching and pleasing to hear the conversation that Balaram pacifying the gopis. Krishna conveyed his message through Lord Balaram to each individual gopis. It was you mentioned in the class that Vinsmar Chakran Thakur not revealed us the conversation for the purpose of privacy. So, do we have the access to conversations recorded as part of books between Krishna and gopis, or the Krishna's messages to the gopis recorded in books?
Two things. There's 18,000 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. The original Srimad Bhagavatam in the heavenly realm is much bigger. It's similar to Ramayana. The Ramayana composed by Valmiki was 24,000 verses. And it said there's a Mula Ramayana that's 1 billion verses. So 24,000 compared to 1 billion doesn't include everything. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses, but in the heavenly, so it expands. Not everything is recorded in the Bhagavatam. Valmiki, Vyasadeva wrote what Vyasadeva wrote, 18,000 verses. And the other verses, or the other, like this narration, is not necessarily the spiritual realm Srimad Bhagavatam that they had a sneak preview to and are telling us those exchanges. Rather, this is my understanding, that they, devotees of this caliber, the pastimes of the Supreme Lord are enacted within their heart. Like Sanjaya is narrating to Dhritarashtra. Seeing the television within his heart, he's able to say what's happening in a distant place. Similarly, it's not the same, but similarly, Swarasaki is the technical term. Pure devotees have access to Krishna revealing himself in his pastimes and exchanges with his devotees in those revelations within their heart. And then they have the capacity to then recall all of those exchanges and share them with us. So it's not exactly within the pages of the Bhagavatam, but on the other hand, what's the Bhagavatam? It's the realization of Vyas. Vyas wasn't personally present to hear all these discussions back and forth, but it's his realizations of those events, past, present, future. Similarly, great acharyas have that capacity, and when they write their commentaries, in some cases, it's like that. It's the pastime being enacted within their heart. They record it in their commentaries, so they're not ordinary living entities. They're jivas, but they're blessed with a gift of revelation of Krishna's pastimes, and the gift to be able to record them properly and share them with all of us. And each of our acharyas has a mood that's distinct from another's mood, distinct from another's mood, distinct. So their individuality comes out in how they write, but it's perfectly natural. So the essence of what I understand your question is, it's not just realization, it's an enactment of the pastime within the heart of these great personalities, and they're sharing with us that exchange. The realization of that pastime. It's not intellectual, it's non-spiritual, not creative writing.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Behind you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. In one of the slides, this conversation between Nanda Maharaj and Balaram, and Nanda Maharaj asks Lord Balaram how many more demons are there to be killed, and he lists them. I was a little surprised to see Lord Nanda Maharaj asking those, because in his Vatsalya Bhav, whenever like Krishna would be killing demons, he and Yashodamai would always be so frightful of what may happen to Krishna. And now here he's like in one way very openly asking, okay, how many more to go?
Well, it doesn't give the detail, but you fill in the detail that's left out. Balaram may very well have shared, Krishna will come, but he wants to have the demons destroyed before he comes, for the reason mentioned. So then Nanda's asking, how many? So it's a natural chronological question. He has to do this first. So what are those obstacles? It's natural. Now, does he have anxiety as parental due to parental affection? Of course. At the same time, he wants to know. When will that day come? When these deep who's nothing. And they're powerful persons. Each one of them in their own way. Shishupala Dantavakra, the same category of Jai Vijay. Powerful person. You have something? Over there.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for the lecture. My question was, what is the significance of the plow that Balaram always
What is the
carries?
significance of what?
Plow that he carries, other than the Yamuna's,
Well, what's the significance? His primary childhood pastime is a cowherd. And why do you have a plow as a cowherd? Krishi Goraksha. That's what. Agriculture. As a Vaishya, agriculture, plow. But he keeps the plow for other purposes. Like, pulling Hastinapur or pulling the river Jamuna here, that he uses as a weapon. So that's its significance. It's part of his Vaishya position, but it's also a weapon. Is that?
Yeah, just I was curious. Thank you very much.
Krishna's instrument is a flute. Balaram's is the plow. Krishna's is the flute. And with that flute, it's a magical flute. One of the things that the magical flute does is he calls the cows with its flute by name. It's not just a sweet sound, and they like the sweet sound. The flute calls the cows by name or by groups and so forth and so on. It's a magical flute. So for cowherd, Krishi is the plow, Goraksha is the flute. To two of the principal occupations of Vaishyas, because they appeared as if in the Vaishya community, the sons of Nanda and Yashoda.
Krishna Maharaj, very beautiful presentation. Thank you very much. There was a mention of Darsharha somewhere in two slides. What's the connection?
The connection between what?
There is a word, Darsharha.
Well, that's a predecessor king in the Yadu dynasty. That was his name, King Dasharha. This is his name. So descendant of, because the other places it's the descendant of the Yadu dynasty. But so a predecessor of King Yadu was Darshara.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much. Wonderful lecture. So I have a little background before I answer.
Background, okay.
The background is I was thinking about the listener of Bhagavad.
Mm.
We are attending the lectures of Vrindavana Mataji, who is doing the Canto 1 this time. So how Maharaj Parikshit is situated in listening to. So Parikshit is one who knows that, like, okay, there is a definitive time period and he need to listen. He was listening attentively, and even this pastime, he was listening very attentively, absorbing it.
Yes.
So for someone who does not have that sense of urgency, or rather not knowing that we need to listen attentively and understand, and there is so much to really enjoy, to put it one way.
Mhm.
How to get that sense of urgency and to
How to do what?
how to get that sense of urgency
Urgency.
when one does not know that there is some kind of limited finite time. So how to get that sense of urgency and to take interest, to really absorb better.
There can be different channels for hearing with great attention. Urgency is one. Spontaneous attraction is yet another. So as sadhakas, we can, one of the ways that Prabhupada answered your question is, we don't know how long we're going to live. And how many lifetimes we've been going through this. I mean, frankly, look around the world, and all of us, chances are, we've already done something before this lifetime. And now we're going along in this lifetime doing something. And how many lifetimes do we want? So being thoughtful brings urgency. Complacency is like a wet rag on top of urgency or enthusiasm, the enthusiasm that leads to spontaneous emotion. Complacency doesn't go very well with spiritual life. To overcome complacency by, in fact, we don't know how long we have. One of the things that can help in the sense of urgency is some calamity happens. That's one. It may not be, snake bird going to come and kill you in 7 days, but someone dear to you, all of a sudden, poof. It happens. It happens. It doesn't have to be necessarily someone dear to you. Here's two examples. In the past 24 hours, there's a very nice devotee in the Chicago temple named Mara Chaitanya, African American devotee who's been around. He's a senior citizen. He's dying of cancer, and the devotees are looking after his needs, and it's medical and this and that, and it's challenging because he's kind of lost his faculties. But in his heart, he's an excellent devotee. Anyway, so because the lights are going out, then there's a sense of urgency to help him. And if you put two and two together, you come up with four. We're next. Or another, I think I can share this. One of the devotees, after the program yesterday, explained that by profession they're a nurse. They're dealing with a patient that previously went to the University of Florida, engaged with devotees at the University of Florida at the center there, took prasadam, felt very, kindly taken care of by the devotees. And now they have cancer and they're losing their limbs and their loved ones. And, they're going through traumatic fear of death. And so there's a devotee because she's dealing with someone that has something of devotion. It's striking their heart. And you have a profession like that, you probably see a lot of it. Death or approaching death. So it doesn't have to be something morbid. It's just it can happen at any time. Boom. Boom. So finishing our business in this lifetime. And if that doesn't happen, what is it? Some degree of complacency. But how do you go beyond complacency? So you can go beyond complacency by fear of death, or you can go beyond complacency by purification. And then it becomes not just strong sadhana because I'm afraid of death, but spontaneous devotion. That's the high road. But the other road is also there because we don't know. One day we don't know when something, and we don't know if there's tomorrow. And then what happens if that's the case? Another birth, another time around with Janma Mrishu Jara Vyadi. So if one reads and understands the message sufficiently carefully, there's the impetus for overcoming complacency. So by philosophy, by shock, by very careful performance of sadhana bhakti, those are three how-to opportunities. So one way of saying, don't put Krishna through the trouble of turning you upside down and holding you by the heels and shaking you. Why put Krishna through that trouble? So you have a sense of urgency. Why do that? Why put Krishna through that trouble? But again, then you have to be thoughtful because that can overcome the complacency. So like this person that's in the hospital with cancer, and Maharaj Chaitanya, their days are numbered. They know it. They're on notice. Exactly how many days they don't know, but they're on notice. And what are you gonna do? Urgency. Complacency is gone. And, dealing with people that are going through that by your natural care and concern for another living being that's going through that, it heightens the sense of urgency for them and for oneself. And then when the situation is over, it can be back to usual. So the best is the high road. Come carefully, step by step, towards spontaneous devotion. So the meaning of regular devotion. Anything else?
Could I ask one more?
Yeah, sure.
So the Gopis feeling their separation. So these days, something is available which was not available in those times, which is the internet. So they could not watch Krishna's pastimes, maybe in Dwaraka, live. That is available now. So is it kind of real progress?
Is it what?
Is it really progress now that we have these avenues of getting in connection? Like I can watch the morning party in Vrindavana right here.
Yeah, fantastic.
So is that progress? It's like quenching that separation, and how best to use it?
What was the punchline and how?
How best to use how to use these resources such as having these online avenues for
You're asking how do I personally take access of media and
yeah how
instant
do I
communication?
make the best use?
You're asking it a personal question. I don't access that stuff very much. I visit people that do, and and passing by their, viewing a kirtan live and this and that. But I don't personally do that. I have other things that I like and make me feel full. So I don't access that kind of media much. The world is so into it that I'm not one. I know it's available, but I don't access it. It's an honest answer. I don't think that means others shouldn't. It's just a personal answer to a personal question. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Just set it down on the table.
Yeah.
Table, put it on the table.
Sure.
Thanks.